Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. This is episode number 149 and today is Wednesday, January 28th. My name is Denise, I'm also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. I hope you enjoyed that little introduction, and I have to say that was all because of Here's Mom 25. After talking about Donny Osmond last week, I've been watching some of his videos on YouTube. I forgot all of those songs I used to love way back then. 12th of Never and oh gosh, I can't think of all the other ones off the top of my head. But Puppy Love, I thought that was the first one either he ever released or just it's the first one I ever remember loving. So I've been singing that all week. You know, if you didn't like it or you thought, what the heck is this? I'm assuming you just fast forwarded that part. Or if you thought it was kind of fun, you got to watch it all. Okay, so let me get my notes. It is, as I said, it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes, goodness me. I've been writing notes this morning. It is about just after 8:30 and I have been up for 4 hours. Yes, I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning now with hubby because he's working outside. He's going back into the office for a few months, and he likes to beat the traffic in the morning, so he's out by 5 o'clock and I get up and I make him a juice and put sandwich or whatever in a bag for him and make coffee, and because I'm a nice wife like that. Okay. So yeah, I've been up since 4 o'clock. Actually, I'm still in my pyjamas, but I'll get ready in a minute. And I didn't do a very good job of hiding the Kit Kats last week. I thought there was one left in the jar, and there is none. But that's okay. I have taken to eating, or I was trying these this week. Let me see if I can hold it up. Breakfast biscuits. Yes, they're called biscuits, not cookies, or cookies. And I got the lemon poppy seed ones. I'll show you. Oh, they're all broken in here, actually. I can put my coffee there. The whole thing is broken. Well, anyway, they kind of look like that, and they're whole. And you get 4 of them in a packet. 4 biscuits. Hello, Mr. Moo. Yes. No, you see, look at this. Because I've got something in my hand now, this Mr. Moo, this is Boo for anybody watching for the first time, you're greedy and he just wants something to eat the whole time. It's not for you, I'm afraid. So I hope the lighting's okay. I've been trying, I forgot where I put the camera last week. I've been trying it, I hope it's not too dark. Boo, you're not getting any. The door's blowing open because Bindy's out on the deck. What was I saying? Yeah, so there's 4 biscuits in here, and I always have the intention of like, oh, I'll just have a couple with my coffee. So what's in my mug? Just coffee again, Talia. And here comes Bindy wanting to come in. She's managed it. I do tell myself I'll just have 2, but I usually can't stop, and I have the whole 4 biscuits. But it's okay because there's only 200 and something calories in it, and as you could see, it's called breakfast. Well, it's upside down. Breakfast biscuits. So they're kind of meant to be your breakfast. I don't have anything else really right now. So this is breakfast. I'm going to put it out the way. And no, boo-boo, no. Can't give you little Missy Moo, if I can get this to go around, has come and joined us, but there she is on her favourite perch, the back of the sofa. They both went to the groomers this week. Can't really tell now, but oh, that looks rather dark. I hope it's okay. Where was I? Sorry. Yes, we have to get it positioned really well. Go on, Boo Boo. Go over there. Get down. Okay. So okay, where was I? No, he's going to stare at me now like I hadn't fed him for a week. He just got fed. Yeah, I haven't... I've done introductions. Oh gosh. I did say I'm Denise. I haven't done any welcomes. Let's get started. Welcome. If you're watching for the first time, I would have said that I don't normally start the podcast like this, but I kind of do. I'm all over the place usually. I do appreciate you checking out the podcast if you are here for the first time. I want to welcome back everyone else, all of my friends. I've been looking forward to this. It just seems as if it was a really long week, and I feel like it's been ages since I chatted with you. Anyway, so I have sat this morning, not at 4:30, but you know, a couple of hours ago, I sat and I made lots of notes. So this may be a longer than usual podcast, but that's okay. I do want to say, I want to welcome everyone, excuse me, and welcome new members to the Ravelry group. If you've joined, thank you so much. I'm still waiting. I don't really care if we ever do it. It's not that important, but when we get to 1,000 members, I'm going to have that really nice, awesome giveaway, Kiki Boo bag kit with dancing dog dye work yarn and a Kiki Boo bag, lots of other goodies, stitch markers. No, we'll get there sometime. I do want to welcome a special welcome to those of you, you lovely girls, that left an introduction in the Ravelry group, and that is to Tea and Tea Cake. I haven't had a tea cake in years. We don't get them over here. I used to love them toasted tea cakes with butter on. So if you are over here, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. A tea cake is kind of like a sweetbread roll, but quite a big sweetbread roll with currants or raisins in it. That's the best way I can describe it. Anyway, that's Tracy in Nottingham, in England. Hi, Tracy. And let's see. I want to say hi to Pink Kira, who is Kira, and she is in England as well, and that's Berkshire. And Kira has a podcast. She's just released episode number 2, so go check it out if you want to watch some new, new podcasters. She is Mum of 3 Knits. If you search YouTube for Mum of 3 Knits, you can leave spaces and type it like Mum of 3 THREE Knits. She should come up. That's what I did, and I did find that podcast. If you have a problem you can't find it, just PM me and I'll send you a link or something. And then I also want to oh, and by the way, I've only seen half of episode 1, Kira, so I will get back to watching that. But as I said, Kira's in England. You know I love sitting down with my English podcasters. Freckles and Pearls, who is Alison, and she is in Mississippi. And hi, Alison. Alison was saying that how knitting is such a huge part of her life now. And I'm like, I think we can all relate to that. It is. I can't imagine my life without knitting in it. I can't imagine going a week without knitting. I have gone a day without knitting. It's rare. But if it's a busy day, I might have got to the end of the day and not picked up the needles. Very, very rare. I still manage, if I've not done any during the day, I'll get an hour in at night when I'm watching TV. But I can totally relate to that. Yeah, I just don't know what I would do if I didn't have knitting in my life. And then I want to say hi to Knit Nerd NURD, not NERD, and that is Debbie, also known as Dee Dee as well, and she's in Northern California. Hi, Debbie. And I have to tell you this little story if you haven't read Debbie's introduction. Debbie said she learned to knit. I hope this is not like kind of cockeyed. I feel as if it's on a... Hope it's alright. Sorry. Distracted. Squirrel. Debbie learned to knit when she was 10, and her aunt had just had a baby when she was 10, and she was sent to help her aunt with the baby and everything, to just help around. And her aunt's mother-in-law lived across the street, and it was the mother-in-law that taught Debbie how to knit. And she said she got started with her first project straight away, which was a pair of booties, which obviously was for the baby. I knit a scarf, it wasn't even a scarf, but wow, I can't imagine knitting a pair of booties for my first project. But what I think is just awesome, and it's just, I can't imagine. Debbie said her aunt still has those booties, and her cousin, the baby that she went to help with, is now 51. 51! That's how old I am. But I cannot imagine having a pair of knitted booties that someone made for me at this age. I just think it's so adorable. It's so adorable. And it got me thinking, like, wow, I wish I had kept things that I had knit, the beginning thing. I mean, all I would have had is a scarf. It would have had holes in it. But have any of you got, not necessarily a first project? If you have, that's awesome too. You'll have to tell me where it is. But did anyone think to keep their little scraps or their very first practice scarf or anything? I wish I had. I used to, as I said, my mum taught me, my mum taught me to knit when I was about 9 or 10. And I just remember those things on the needles, and there was a stitch drop, and there would be a hole, and then it was too many stitches, and so it would have, spread out, and then the stitches were too tight, and I wish I had kept it though. Just made me think. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling, but thanks for that story, Debbie. Thanks for sharing. And last but not least, I want to say hi to River Breeze, and I love that name. I've just been thinking, every time I looked at my notes this morning, I'm just thinking, oh, I'm just picturing a river and the lovely breeze. It's wonderful. Anyway, River Breeze is Janice. Hi, Janice. And she is in southwestern Ontario in Canada. And Janice was saying that she's had a break of about 20 years of knitting, and she just started up about a year or so ago. So I bet, like all of us, it's going to become a huge part of your life very soon, if it's not already. So that is everyone that said hello, and I'm saying hello back to you all. No. All right. I might need that back on my knee. That's all I'm having. I don't want to keep stopping and having a nibble while I'm recording. And plus my coffee's already gone a bit cold. All right, so let's get on. I do want to thank everyone for your messages last week in the Ravelry group, on YouTube, your PMs on Ravelry. It does bother me when I don't get a chance to reply to everyone. I know it shouldn't, but it does. I like to try and personally reply. And to those that I haven't got round to replying to this week, and some of you last week as well, I'm sorry. I really appreciate you leaving messages. I love reading every single one of them. And I just want to say a huge thank you. And just because I haven't replied doesn't mean I haven't read it. I just sometimes run out of time. But I do love hearing from you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I also, a couple of apologies, well, one apology to a couple of people. November and December's prize winners for the Kiki Boo bags. I'm so sorry. I still have not got a chance to get some bags sewn. Feel really bad about that, especially November winner. But hang on in there. It sounds horrible. I've just not felt in the mood for sewing. But I'm trying to get back to it, and I've just been trying to get things organised and, work on housework and do things I have neglected over the past few months. So, sorry about that. Okay, and chat. Week in review. Not too much, but we did get snow last week. I hope this light's all right. We got snow. It was snowing when I recorded. We got snow another couple of days later, I think. It's all melted just about now. We've had 2 glorious days, 70 degrees. Can you believe that? Past a couple of days. 71 high yesterday. Blue skies, absolutely gorgeous. But we do have more snow forecast for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I know a lot of you on the East Coast have been getting a lot of snow and very high winds, blizzard conditions and that. So I hope you all are keeping warm, staying safe. It can look beautiful, but very hazardous, obviously, if you have to be still working and going travelling out in that. Can't imagine. All right. With all of that, how long have we been on? Chatting on? Oh my gosh, I've been chatting on for 15 minutes. Let's start with the knitting. No finished objects, and with works in progress, I did forget to bring it with me. I've got one here, but I'll get the other one, so hold on a second. Okay, first, work in progress. It's brand new, and it is new yarn, new pattern, a new book that the pattern came in. I'll show you it all now, and then, hold on a minute. Oh my gosh, I should position this before I get started. I'll show you it all now. It could have been part of show and tell, but I've got some more to show and tell you about later. So, in my very first bag I ever made, Mr. Lorax, I still think he's so cute. I have, and I was like, oh, it's not matching, but look, it matches the inside. Ah, I've got grey in the inside. Lovely grey colour. This is brand new yarn from Berroco. And I do not have the label. Wow, what a surprise. I do have the label on, well, again, my local yarn store kind of, you know, covers the name. This is brand new from Berroco. It's called Fiora, F-I-O-R-A. And it is, there's a lot in here. Hold on. 40% cotton, 30% viscose, 15% alpaca. I have to laugh every time I say alpaca now. 10% nylon and 5% wool. Very soft, there's not a lot of wool in it, so I don't think it's going to be itchy. There's a lot more cotton than anything else. And I saw all of this on my local yarn store's Facebook page last week, and yeah, it was actually Saturday morning. And I went running down there Saturday afternoon, treat myself to a few nice things. So, here's the book. They had, with the new yarn, they had a Berroco booklet, which I always like to get. The last time I did this, I got a booklet with that IWI sweater, IWI, with the folio, and that's still not completed. It's on the needles. But I always have to get the book. Obviously, I made sure there was something in there I wanted to knit. And what I'm knitting, I'll get to it, hold on. I'm knitting this beautiful hat. It's called Elsa. I actually think I'm doing it in the same colour yarn. Let me get the page and I'll tell you. What did they knit it with? Tybee. Yes, mine is Tybee. That's the exact same colour. And here's what I've got started so far. It's kind of going to be a bit hard to show you. It's knit from the top down. It's the first time I've ever knit a top-down hat. And I have to tell you, feels rather strange, but it also looks absolutely tiny. Obviously, because it's only on the 16-inch needle. I started with the magic loop, because you only started with like 5 stitches at the top. I did start with magic loop, and then when I got to finish the increases, I went onto the circular, as I would if I was starting from the brim, you know. But it just looks so tiny. But it does say it stretches a lot, and as you can see, it is. I mean, it's, you know, it's all just curled up. I don't want to stretch it yet, in case it falls off the needles, but you can kind of see the pattern. Little crossovers here, little cable, and then you've got your eyelet lace kind of pattern. And the yarn, as I said, is really nice and soft. I really like it. But to be honest, I couldn't tell the difference between that and, say, the Berocco Vintage, the DK. It's a little less thicker than a worsted, I want to say. Not sure what it says it is. Yeah, it's a 3, a light, number 3. Worsted usually is, they say it's a number 4, right? So here. It's really nice. As I said, I'm not such an expert in yarn that I can tell a big difference, but I'm enjoying it. I have been knitting a lot on it because I do want it to be kind of a quick project. So I've been going with that since Saturday, trying to do a few rows. The pattern's really easy. It is a 4-row repeat, and 2 of those rows are the same. So that's it's nice. I can actually see from looking at the pattern now, you know, what comes up. I know when to cross over this way and then do the cable that way and this way. You can kind of see if you can read. If you're experienced and you can read your stitches, you would know. So that is my work in progress. Look, it's almost like a little yarn cozy. That's Bindi. She snorts when she's sleeping. Doesn't that look like a little yarn cozy? Kind of. I just want to make sure. I wish I had those things to stick on the end of the needle so that it doesn't come off. All right, put that away. I'll go through this and show you the other patterns in show and tell, because I have some other stuff as well. And let's see. I think, again, not a ton of knitting, but, oops, I'm sorry, I just knocked the camera there with this bag. Not a ton of knitting, but I do have other fibery stuff to talk about and show you, so we're okay. In my huge sweater bag, which doesn't have a toy in it, but I've still got that tag on it, I have my Lawrence sweater. I think I got some of this done, but I'm not sure if I put in the little doohickey and so that you could see where I was. I don't think it's on. Oh, maybe that was it. Or I might have moved it myself. Didn't get much done at all. Look, that's the doohickey. This I'll go into knit along news, because this is work in progress for the Lawrence sweater, which is a knit along that we're doing in the group, teamed up with Sarah from Apple Blossom and New podcast. It started January 1st. It's running till the end of February. I have not decided on what prizes yet. And looking in the group, everyone's kind of getting along very well with it. So many inches of this first part here, as they've all mentioned, very, very tedious, and it took forever. So that was done. I split for the sleeves last week, and I think all I've done, the only difference is I've just done a few more rows, and that's the pattern you can see. Excuse me. The pattern is on the left-hand side at the front, the right-hand side at the back. It is on both sides. And this is a big cowly, you know, it's going to fold over like a big chunky cowl. So it's coming on okay, but I got distracted. I saw a squirrel. It was called Berocco yarn. And yeah, it got put to the side a little bit, and the socks, I had started to try do some Hermione socks with a folio, and they didn't really get touched at all either. I am using, again, Berocco. Gosh, I'm kind of a bit of a Berocco fan right now. This is their vintage. This is their vintage. I was like, where's it? This is their vintage worsted. What was this colourway called? Show you. Where's it gone? Up and down with the glasses. Look at this. I've got bed head. Not really. I did brush it, but it does have a name. It has a name. Oh, where's it gone? Forget Me Not. It's like a blue, nice blue. So that is coming along, and I had not printed out a colour photo. This is the back of it for anyone that hasn't seen. And it's all garter stitch, and then the pattern. It's by Melissa Labar. Lawrence is the name of the pattern. So not much done on it, but it is easy. I do have to keep checking. I haven't memorised the pattern. I do just have to keep checking where the yarn overs and everything are. But it is quite easy to pick up. I just want it to grow faster though. I do want to complete this by the end of February. So that is what got knitted on. Let me get my hair out of the way. As I mentioned earlier, the dogs got groomed this week, or past last week I should say. And it's my turn on Friday. I am going to get all my grey coloured, get a little bit trimmed off and get it all, make me look purdy again. Ready for the Sock Bunny Knitting Retreat in Florida. I fly out next Wednesday. Can you believe it? 1 week from today. I will be at the airport actually waiting on my flight. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Can't wait for that. Super, super excited. Okay, that was the Carl. Now, I'm not saying I have a new section. Ooh, Bindy's on the move. I'm not saying I have a new section, but this next section, excuse me, crochet. Yes, I did not get a lot of knitting done because I kind of got bitten by the crochet bug. I couldn't stop picking up the needle or the hook, and I kept trying, practicing it. Now, looks like Bindy wants out again. She likes to sit on the chair outside, so hold on. Okay, I've left the door open now. I'm going to be a bit chilly because she's sitting right in the doorway. She loves the wind, the cool air. She gets pretty hot. I thought she would have gone outside and sat on the cushion and I would have closed it a little bit, but she's just wedged herself in between. Okay, so last week I showed you my first attempt. It's not really a first attempt at a granny square. I have tried crochet before, a few years ago. Taught myself the stitches, I had a book and I made granny square, 1 or 2. I never did put them together. I had no intentions of making a blanket or anything. I just wanted to see if I could, learn the stitches, and I did. So I did this last week, kind of got curious. Everybody's trying their crochet blankets, and Tilly and Bryony Bear, Keir, they were crocheting lovely blankets, and I know Amelia is got a crochet blanket on a hook. So I did that, and then Tracy from Tea Plays Nice podcast. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. There's a new one I've got to watch this week, Tracy, and she's brand new. It's number 4, I think. Another newbie in England. So, Tracy, and I'm going to have to get my iPad and show you a picture. Tracy showed a picture on her podcast last week or the week before, her number 3. A crocheted blanket that she was interested in, and once I saw it I was like, ooh, I'm a very novice, I'm a beginner at crochet, but I just loved the look of this blanket. It wasn't just granny squares, it was a beautiful flower, and I loved the hang on, I'm picking the wrong thing here. I loved the flower pattern on it, and I was curious. I wonder if I would be able to do it. But it was a paid for pattern, and I just, it's just something I would like to do. Didn't know when I would get a chance to do it, and I would not have probably, bought the pattern just yet. But the sweet Tracy, and I'm waiting for this to load. Please hurry up and load. Tracy sent me the pattern. So thank you, Tracy. She sent me the pattern for this. She said, I don't feel obliged to crochet it. You don't have to, but if you ever try it, if you want to try it, you've got the pattern. And so it's called the Painted Rose Blanket, Painted Roses Blanket by Sandra Paul, and this is it. And I think the colours attracted me as well. I just think it looks so beautiful. The pink against the blue, and then the green leaves. I'll show you a close-up of the square, look. I just loved it. And I thought, oh, if I could crochet, I would crochet a blanket like that. So, because Tracy sent me the pattern, I obviously wanted to give it a try. I just wanted to see if I could follow a pattern. I've not really read a crochet pattern. So what I did was I started looking at the pattern. Where has it gone? I was looking at the pattern, and every time it told me what to do, I would go on YouTube and see if I could find a video of that stitch. And usually there was. And this is a English pattern, so I've been writing down, when they say this in English, this is what they mean in American. But I followed the pattern in English, and I'm learning the English stitches. It's just, if I ever do an American pattern, listen to me, like I'm going to be crocheting all day, every day. If I did do an American pattern, I know that I need to just double check and see what do they mean by this stitch and that stitch, and I think I've kind of remembered most of it. So this is my attempt at following a pattern. I just used some scrap yarn. I think it's worsted yarn I'm picking up with the old needle I got, and here is my little attempt. Ta-da! I mean, it would have looked nice if I'd got green. I didn't have any green, but these were the leaves that you saw. I started out here to like a navy blue, and I did this okay. Then this got a little bit kind of tricky, but I did it okay. This stitch here, like a big spike, I think they called it. Managed to do that. Get rid of all the, look, it's full of threads on the outside. Then what kind of got funny was I managed this. I understood what that meant, and it's this last, when we turn it, by looking at it, when we turn it into a square, I just think it was funny because I've got big, I don't know, I'm sure that's the way it goes, and there is more, obviously more of the edging. It'll make it more of a square, but I would just practice a little bit more, and I really see that's the second edging in this square, in the edging bit. That's the first edging, and then in the same colour I've started the second edge, and I've just finished it because I was getting a little bit stuck. I know all the stitches, or at least the ones that they talk about. My problem is I don't know I don't know the the terminology. I don't know what hole or chain space or anything that sometimes she's talking about. Now, apparently the lady down in the yarn store is a crocheter, so I might be able to just ask her questions. And my good friend in the neighbourhood, my knitty pal, I just asked her the other day, and yes, she is a crocheter. I didn't know that. She's learning to knit, and that's why we get together a lot, but she's a crocheter. So if I want to get into this, I'll definitely be able to ask her, what does this mean? And I shouldn't really have any problems. I need to consider getting the yarn, the colours I want, and the specific yarn before I started for real. So I was quite pleased with myself. It's rather impressive, that. And I didn't pick it up for a few days. Where's the other thing? Oh, here it is. And I've got on knitting this hat and everything. But I hate to admit this, but last night I'm like, I just want to try again. I just wanted to hold a crochet hook again. And last week, when I got stuff from the yarn store, I bought myself a new crochet hook. I think this is Knitter's Pride, actually. It's the ones she carries in the store. And this is still the 4mm size G6. So a size G, and I think 6 is the UK. You use numbers, I'm not sure now. But I bought that. It's the same size I was using. But I think with worsted I should go up I should have a bigger, fatter crochet hook. This is probably going to be good for DK. But I might do the blanket in a DK, I don't know. I bought that, and I just last night wanted to try something. And then of course I thought, if I'm going to practice, I should get my cotton out, my sugars and cream, and practice dishcloths. Duh! I would actually use dishcloths. So, oh, it's not in here, I don't think. I've got to go to YouTube. I was looking at dishcloth patterns, and then I went on YouTube, you know, because I like to look at the tutorial. I like somebody to explain not just the stitch, but I want them to like talk to me and tell me what I'm going to do next. And a lot of the dishcloths they look kind of boring with just the single crochet or double crochets. Now, English, they have nothing like, they do not have a single crochet. They start with a double crochet, which in America is the single crochet. How confusing is that? She has gone on her cushion, so I'm going to close the door because it's squeaking. So again, sorry for the interruption, I'll be right back. Okay, while I was letting her out and then I'm letting her in again, I've shut the door and she's on the chair. Sorry. I took that time to get up on YouTube the pattern I saw yesterday for a dishcloth, because I didn't want to just do a chain, you know, chain so many and then just go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. I like the look of the round. I like starting in the round with the little circle and the flowery look. So I came across this pattern. It's a free video on YouTube. This, you know, there's lots of tutorials and that, and I like the look of this. See, dishcloths. Oh, and I can make it. I made one. So but I didn't use the cotton because I was just practicing. But I've got a lot of sugars and cream, so oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to knit much if I'm just getting a little bit addicted to these. I never thought I would actually ever say that about crochet. And I know some of you are out there, Talia and Melisha, are like, yay! Yes, I have to admit it, I'm kind of enjoying it. So, that tutorial, she used sugars and cream with a bigger hook, obviously. And so this is rather small because I was just, again, I practiced with this yarn. Look, I'm all matchy-matchy. I practiced with this worsted and I picked up the pink. And then I was just going to practice with all of that, but I decided I do want to see, I had to change colours so I could see the next round like you could see on her video. So here it is, and I do have one big question ready crocheters. I've got a question for you. Here's my little circle. It's obviously, as I said, small. My hook was smaller, my yarn is not as thick. But I practiced. I did this one, then I did that, and I knew where to place the hook. Not a problem, it's quite easy to see. In fact, all of it was very easy to follow. I'm just not, you know, not perfect. It's just, I'm a bit loose sometimes. Now, do you see this? It's warped. And this one is, I can flatten them, but it was warped as well before I got this edging, that square. My circle was warped. It just bugs me, and I can flatten it, but when I'm knitting it now, question, am I getting a warped circle because it's too loose, or am I too tight? I don't think I'm too tight. I think what I'm doing is I'm worried that it's going to be too tight, so I pull a little bit more, you know, when I put the hook in and I pull through, I'm pulling up, so I think, I don't have any spare yarn here. Not that I need to show you, but I think I'm too loose. So say for instance, if I go in and I pull this loop through and then I wrap, this is how I've been doing it, and then I wrap, let me get a little closer, just, it's going to be blurry though. So if I wrap and I was to pull through like this, what I've been doing is, I'm just going into any square. If I go in there and I pull through, I'm pulling up a little bit and then wrapping. So I think I'm too loose. So with my practice, I'm going to start practicing and keep it tight, but not dead tight, but just, you know, it's just more practice I need. But that's my crochet. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm waffling on about crochet. But I'm going to get the cotton out, my sugars and cream, and I'm going to try this again, and I might get some pretty dishcloths made. We'll see. So that is still yarny, kind of, you know, goodness and fun. I really have enjoyed that. But let's go moving in. And again, thank you, Tracy, for the pattern. I'll practice that square again. Might go get some DK yarn, like the Barocco's DK. Actually, I've got some in my stash. I might play with those as well. Get a feel for the yarn. And I might actually attempt a crochet blanket too, which I think I can imagine will get done a lot quicker than the log cabin blankets that I'm not really knitting on much. But who knows? So where are we? I've got some show and tell. So I went to the yarn store, showed you this, and I got the yarn. I also, in here, there was another pattern I liked, and I got the yarn for it. I haven't cast on, but I just wanted to buy lots of things. I love this pattern, and I got the yarn for it. It calls for 2 skeins, same yarn, Fiora, and same colour. I got another grey. It's a lighter grey. This is kind of like a dark bluey grey. You see the difference, right? So I picked up these, and I think this is thicker than sport weight. I get the feeling it is. This pattern, I think it calls for a size 4, US 4. And let's see if I can tell you what that is then, if you're interested. 3.5 milli. And you only cast on about 48 stitches, which actually is what I did for the sport weight socks that actually I am wearing. These are my Christmas pud socks from Dancing Dog Dye Works Sport Weight. And I did cast on 48 stitches, so I might put them on the needles rather soon, because they're going to knit a lot faster than the fingering and the ones I've got on the needles. So I just love them. Let me quickly show you. I think this might, I shouldn't try to guess how long, but I know I've got a lot of waffling and stuff to talk about, so I'll show you the patterns. She did have this on her Facebook page, on the local yarn store, but it's not something I'm not tempted to knit that, to be honest. And on the back is this sweater, and I'm not tempted to knit that. It's not really for me, my style. Now, this is my style, but I don't think I'll ever knit it. What's the hair doing? Sticking out? Yes. I do like this dress. How pretty. And it shows you the pattern a little bit at the bottom there. I do like that, but I don't think I would wear, you know, a dress, long sleeved and long like that. It has a really pretty shawl kind of thing. And let's see what else. Has the hat, and then it has, I want to make sure I'm showing you it, and then it has this nice sweater. And it has a nice little lacy looking top. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't knit that either. I find that this neckline, it'd probably be hard to keep on my shoulders, honestly, if I'm honest. And I think that is everything though. Yeah. There's a little different picture of that. Now, I told the girl in the shop what I was not happy with is there's not really a lot of views. There's not any different views of, you know, back, front, side, or different pictures of the patterns. Like that red sweater, the only other picture in here is this. Tiny little thing. So, and the only other, well, I mean, I can see the hat. That's a nice clear one. But, for instance, the sweater, that's on the front. You do have the back of it there, and then you have a tiny picture. But what we discovered was on Barocco's website, if you go to Ravelry, this is what the girl was doing in the yarn store for me. She went to Ravelry, she typed in the the name of the pattern, and it says for more information click here. She was doing it this way because it was easy. I don't want to take up too much time and show you again, to be honest. But if you click on the link for more information, go to Berocco's website, you click on that and it gives you a 360 view. Now, I've just said I'm not going to do that, but I think I am. And if you find that this is, you're just not interested, or if I find out it's too long, I might cut it out and you might not see this. But, so let me see if I can do this without keeping you too long. So I found the pattern, this one, the cardigans here. I found the pattern, and there's a link down at the bottom says, the booklet that includes this pattern is sold blah blah blah. Check it with your LYS. For more information, click this one, it's berocco.com/patterns/Louise, which is the name. And then you'll go to their page, and you see that with the red box with the triangle. It says a 360 view. Okay, you click on it and it comes up with that. See if I can hold it and click at the same time. And if you click it, of course it's not going to work. There we go. And it's just a few seconds, to be honest. Just a few seconds. There's no sound. It does, it helps you see what it's like, but better than nothing, I guess, because they just don't seem to want to give you a big variety of photos, model shots and all that stuff. Anyway, waffle. So, while I was there, there was another, gosh, this hair. There was another new yarn that Berocco just brought out, which I had to get, and there was a book as well. So, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love cables. Love cables. The yarn is called Indigo. I'll show you, I bought some, and there's a pattern in this book that I bought it for, and it's not the cardigan, I have to say. Now, I didn't like the look of this yarn as much as the other, but I liked the patterns. This is cotton. It's apparently recycled denim, and there's lots of blues and greys, you can see the cardigan. But they've got some other colours. I chose this colour because springtime is coming up. And yeah, I need to cast on now to have this ready for springtime, because there's no good wait until March or April when we still get snow in March and April, but if I leave it too late, then, all of a sudden it might be too hot to even wear something knitted like a tank or something. Excuse me. So, it's 95% cotton and 5% other fibres, which I don't know what that is, but that's all it says. Monroe is the colour. It is like a cerise pink. It's quite true to colour there. Not neon or anything like that, just a nice summery looking cerise pink. And what I bought it for, I got 3 skeins. And if you're interested, these are retailing, and I think I checked on Jimmy Bean's Wool, same price as my LYS. This is $11 a skein, and the not folio, that's the other stuff, the Fiora, this is $10 a skein. So really, really reasonably priced yarn. That's what I love about Berocco too. So I'll show you what I decided I wanted to knit with this, and then I'll show you the other patterns in this book, if you're interested. Ta-da! Yeah, isn't that pretty? Oh, I love the back of that. Now, I picked this yarn because I can totally see this in a cerise and with white capris for the spring or summertime. Totally can see myself in that with, my little slip-on sandals and stuff like that. Now, again, with the patterns in this book, there is not another picture of that. And except that. doesn't show you the front. I think I did read that the pattern is only on the back, so it's just stocking stitch on the front. But is it what's the neckline? Is it a V-neck? Is it a round neck? I don't know. So again, if you want to, if you feel like hanging out and you want to see, this is the first pattern we did see from, what's that called again? Let me get the pattern in. This was the first pattern, so then we looked at all the other ones. This is called Milkweed. Yeah. Milkweed, I have to get the pattern up first. 360 view. And this, obviously, this helped. I don't know why they wouldn't put a picture in their booklet of this. I totally wanted to see what the front was like. And here she is, look. V-neck. Why would they not put a picture of that in the booklet? I mean, it just totally needed to see that. So, yeah, V-neck, and only calls for 3 skeins. But I do want to get this on the needles sometime this week. I just haven't had enough time to skein it up, like cake it up, sorry. It's knit in 2 pieces, front and back. Not going to happen. I will have to knit that in the round. So, oops, I'll be doing that in the round. Okay, the rest of the patterns, just quickly, is this, as I said, gorgeous cable sweater. Try not to get any glare on it for you. There's the other picture. I think it's got no buttons. To see more, you're obviously going to need to do what I did if you want to get a 360. Go on to Ravelry or Barocco website. There is this big wrap. It looks kind of circular, I said. Circular, but I think it's a square, and it's just got the circle. The pattern is spirals, kind of looks circular. Then there's this, which I would consider knitting. I do like the look of this cardigan, but it's hard to see because of it being a darker blue, like a navy blue. I think you can tell the cuffs garter stitch. Then there does have a pattern. You can very barely see a pattern on here, and then on the back you can see it's got a diamond on the back of it. There's got a little purse there, which is just not my thing. I wouldn't knit that. Then it does have a really very nice shawlette scarf. Again, not another picture of that on its, opened out. I'm assuming it's a triangle. It does have a smaller picture with a close-up of the pattern. Then there's a really pretty cardigan, which the girl in the local yarn store really loved, but she likes 3/4 length sleeves. I do not, but obviously I can make the sleeves any length I want. The cardigan does nothing for me, I don't know. But that's the one I like. And there's another one on the back. As I said, the only other pictures you'll see is when you get to the pattern. They have tiny little pictures. Sometimes the same, just sometimes same, but then they give you a close-up of the pattern. And on the back, I did kind of like this. I think apparently this seems to be all in the fashion. These really long tunic kind of style. I like it, and I did on it. I mean, there's a lot of knitting in that, but I did consider like, ooh, I think I would actually like that. And then it does show you a couple of other pictures, and I kind of went off it because it's really tunic, and I didn't like the armholes. I didn't like that it's so loose. I would rather the top be like a nice little fitted tank and then it flow like a tunic. I don't think I would wear something with, that loose and the armholes way down to your waist, to be honest. So, a shame. It's just not something I probably will ever get on the needles. So, I think that was everything in my show and tell. let's move on. Yeah, that was everything. So, lots of goodies there. I had a good week, or a good weekend. Now, book talk. I do not have anything to talk about other than, and I'm going to have a look at this because I didn't get a chance. I haven't read anything this week. Didn't get to start that Language of Flowers book that I have, the paperback for the neighbourhood. Haven't done that. And where is it called? Oh yeah, I want to type this in first. I don't know if it's going to be available for me, to be honest. Excuse the top of my head. Oh, here we go. See if it comes up. I'm on Amazon. Oh, I might be able to. No. No. All right, let's see. See, some of these books are just from England. Can't even... Oh my God, buy used $51. Are you kidding me? Good grief. Sorry, I'm waffling to myself because I hadn't had a chance to look at that. Carmen, who is au revoir on Ravelry, and I said hi to you last week. She left another message in the group, said thank you for the hi, shout out. She mentioned a book that she's just finished reading, and it sounded, oh, I want to read this, but I didn't get a chance to check on Amazon, and when I go on Amazon, it doesn't seem to let me order it. It's obviously an English novel or fiction book. It's called The Seafront Tea Rooms. Oh, I so want to read that. And it's about, what I love about it, oh, here are the glasses. It's set in England and it's in Scarborough. Oh, I used to go to Scarborough, on the sea coast in England, it says. And it's all about, well, as Carmen said, it's about her favourite things, tea and cakes and tea rooms. And it's just a fiction story. I'm trying to see if I can find... See, it doesn't even tell me what it's all about. If I went to... Oh, and on Amazon, gosh, every time I see my hair, it's just crazy. On Amazon, it said $51. That's just ridiculous. So if I went to amazon.co.uk, because I know it's obviously an English author and it's probably very readily available there. No. Sorry. I'm typing in amazon.co in the Amazon search. amazon.co.uk. All right, I'm just going to have a look to see the Seafront Tea Rooms. I doubt my library would have it in then, obviously, because £3.85. I mean, seriously, why will Amazon not let me order it over here? It is by Vanessa Green. I'm going to have to try and find this. Perfect for reading, curled up with delicious cakes and tea. Oh. And of course you're knitting on the side. Did that tip down? I feel like it's tipped down. No, it's just me. Oh, I want to read this. Vanessa's first novel, The Vintage Teacup Club, published to rave reader reviews and won an instant place in their hearts. That must be the other book. That must be a different book. The Vintage Teacup Club. I want these. Sorry if I'm boring you. Just fast forward. All right. The three central characters, Charlie, Kat and Seraphine, paths cross when Charlie and Seraphine arrive in Scarborough for different reasons. Charlie to do research for an article she's working on, and Seraphine, I'm assuming that's how you say that, to work as an au pair to improve her English, and they both soon strike up a friendship with the single mum Kat. Okay, so I don't want to bore you. I'm going to read more about that later and find out how I can get my hands on it. And the other one that they were talking about, her first novel. Oh, that's like that other novel or book. Oh, there it is too. This is, I wasn't able to get this one either. Kay from the Bakery Bears podcast read this at Christmas. The Great Christmas Knit Off. And that's not available to us either. Mind you, I am going home in June, so I might have to make a note of these and go searching for books when I'm over there. Or July. No, I'm probably going in July. I've got a very special visitor coming to stay in June. And that's all I'm saying about that. But most of you know her, and I'll tell you more about that another time. All right. Okay, we're okay for time on this part. And so, girly chatter. Oh gosh, this hair. I wasn't sure where to put this section, so I'm going to start girly chatter with this, but then I've got something else to chat about. I was a good girl, and I've loaded up more yarn to my stash page, and I thought you might want to see it. Just really quickly, there is a theme. I picked all of my pink yarns, except for this one that I just grabbed, and I've added to my stash, and this is just vintage DK. Isn't wound up yet. So I put that in my stash page. I didn't take pictures, but I did add my new yarn. I was very good. I've added the information. I just haven't took pictures of these three. The one with the hat and the sock yarn and then that. But I also added to my stash Starry, Dream in Colour. Starry, it's got glitter. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, sparkly. That's one. I added some beautiful alpaca. I know. Alpaca that I got when I first moved here. We rented a house in Parker. And yes, I forgot your name, but the one, you've got all your family here, your kids are. It is Parker. This is alpaca, and it's from a local alpaca farm, and I got this from the farmer's market in, no I didn't, that was hubby's yarn, duh. I got this when I visited an alpaca farm when I first got here. We went to their open house, and I picked that up. I added that. I have some beautiful lace weight, I added that. This is called Florida Flamingos from Sock Bunny Studios. Lace weight. I got too close to the camera. And more lace weight in a beautiful soft violet colour, actually. It's Kimberly has called this Jellyfish, which is quite an appropriate name too. It does look like that. Then I have some gorgeous pink from my woolly love, as I call her. Pretty pink. This is sock yarn. Then I added some, I have two of these. Where is it? Gotta find it. Yep, two. This is fingering weight birthday cupcake frosting. I don't know what to knit with these yet, but can you tell? I love pink. Then I added these two. This is Cascade Heritage. And this could be socks, I guess. I bought this on sale, I think, when I want to say I got it from Crafty or Jimmy Beans. It was a sale yarn, so I picked two skeins of that up. Then I have another Fibre Nymph. This is her bounce weight. I think it's fingering, and it's Yard Flamingo pink. Not just pink flamingo, Yard Flamingo pink. You know those flamingos you stick in your yard, which I've never done, so. And I have two more pinks, and the other ones I'll show you in a minute. This was my King Tut cotton that was a gift from Molisha. Thank you. And the last three in here, I did, actually I don't think I did take pictures of these yet. I didn't. But these are my hand spun. I have a little bit of this left. I want to put it on my stash. I knit the kitten, the cat Gertrude Gertrude the Something Cat by Rebecca Danger, I think it was. I've knit a cat in that. That was the leftover. That was some of my hand spun, one of my first ones. Don't ask me where it was. I didn't make a note. This is my even very first one. Yeah, whatever that meant. I did this in my spinning class back in Texas. This was the first yarn I plied. And I've not done anything with it. Just a nice little thing. I don't know what to do with it. I should pick a little toy. It's only 76 yards. It's merino tencel. I'll have to look and see. I should knit something with these. And then I have my beautiful Bittersweet hand spun. I've not just knit anything with yet. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm rather proud of that. I wish it would focus though. I've got to find a camera that focuses. BFL, this was from Never Enough Time, the 5/0, and it's BFL 100%. I got 258 yards of it, and it's called Bittersweet. And there is apparently a flowering kind of bush called Bittersweet, which is where the colours, the inspiration came. So, the hair, check the hair, it's a mess. That is all of my goodies that I stashed. I will get some more. I'll pick some more. It might not be this much every week. I was just going to give myself a 5 scheme goal, you know. But, all right, that brings me to a little chatter about the English and American differences. And I'm going to focus on some words today. And this got me started. I got started on this because Dan, Obi-Wan Knitter, mentioned this week about he heard the word herb. He heard it pronounced by an American podcaster, and how you guys, I have to say you guys because I don't speak American, you pronounce it without the H, and I'm going to say it like I hear it, because you do pronounce the R, and you're all saying it to yourself, aren't you? Herb. That's how I'm going to try and say it. Herb. We say herb, and we don't really pronounce R's in words, as I know many of you Americans know. So that did prompt me to tell Obi-Wan Knitter that not just the herb or herbs, see the R, see the difference? Herb. You don't just pronounce that different to us, or strange. I told him about the basil. The herb basil. So I was going to tell you just a few little ones that are different. And I got on YouTube this morning. There's videos that tell you how to pronounce these words. And there's videos that tell you, that talk about the differences, and they'll tell you the exact words I was thinking of sharing with you. They were in this video, how we say it and how you guys say it. So there's basil, and yes, you say it over here, and I'm going to pronounce my vowels like I would if I was living a bit further down south in England. You pronounce it basil. Basil, basil. If I was at home, I would actually be saying basil, because my vowels are very hard sounding, very Scottish and Irishy sounding. Basil. I would say basil. Now, the other word that I did have to get used to saying over here, and I've heard it so many years now, and I just say it, is, I'll say the British one first, and then the American one. Another herb is oregano. And when I came over here, all I heard was oregano. Oregano. I would say oregano. 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 Same herb, just completely different saying. And the last one, I remember it changing. When I was in England, I used to use the herb majorum. And you say it marjoram over here. Majorum. So funny, the difference in sounds. And before I forget, I did say to hubby when I was talking about this, there was one word totally different I heard years ago. I had no idea what the person was talking about. And they were talking about macrame. I was like, what's macrame? I don't have any idea what macrame is. I didn't know what this person was talking about. I can't remember who the person was, but then she explained, it's that, like those baskets, those hanging baskets you make with string, and like they were braided and woven. And I said, oh, you mean macrame? Dan and Kay, did you say macrame? That's what I called that, macrame. And she said macrame, and I had no idea what that was. So that was another completely different word. And then I did want to tell Dan, because he was talking a lot in their last podcast about the beef Wellington that Kay made, that had a fillet of beef. So I had to tell Dan that when I first came over here, I was laughed at, but not in a mean way. I was just, they thought it funny when I went into McDonald's one day and I asked for a fillet of fish sandwich. Didn't fancy a burger. I thought I'll have a fillet of fish. And I thought, I said to my husband, why did they laugh? What did I say? He said, we say fillet. So I was supposed to say filet o fish, and I think I say fillet now. Fillet. See, I say my vowels are completely different to a lot of people's in England anyway. Filet of beef, a filet of fish, filet mignon, which is a nice little steak. So many words that we pronounce different. And even my hubby, and after 17 years, laughs at the way I say things. And now my child, my teenage daughter, realises and tries to mimic me and say the things that I say, which are completely different to how she's saying them now. So I still get it at home as well. I don't mind. And the other thing that the two of them, hubby and my daughter, do laugh at a lot is the letter R and the fact that we don't pronounce it. And there was some videos on YouTube I watched this morning that was saying the same thing. It's so funny. It's totally right. So for instance, if we say a car, to me, I guess there's no R there, but I hear an R. Car. Oh, there's the R at the end. Car. And online I saw this video, and he was talking about the words, for instance, tractor. Letters that end in R, we kind of drop the R. November, tractor, car. I didn't write any others down. But we lose the R, and we just have that sound. Tractor, November, sound. So over here, that I hear, and I'm going to try and mimic now, you're going to not laugh, but my husband and my daughter would say, car. This is how I tried to learn the R sound. Car, tractor, no, they don't say a tractor. Tractor, November. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. One of the things that they do laugh at when I say it, my husband laughs all the time. Bird. My husband will mimic me and say bird. He really drags it out. The fact that there's no R, but I hear an R. Bird. They say bird. And he laughs at me because when I tried to say bird, he said I sound like that girl in Dances with Wolves, that stands with fist, when she talks about kicking bird, the leader of the Indians, kicking bird. He laughs because that's what my bird sounds like. And then finally, if you're still laughing at this, we do pronounce the R when there is a vowel that follows. So, for instance, and my hubby thinks this is hilarious, if I said car, but it's actually in the garage, or garage, as they say here, but I say garage. If I say car and I'm talking about it in the garage, you will hear the R because I'll say the car, no, I can't, the car in the, I can't say it now, the car in the garage, that's it. I've got to say it like I'm not trying to I've got to say it like I'm at home. The car in the garage. That's the way I'd say it. If I was to say the car is in the garage, you wouldn't hear the R. The car is in the garage, is in the. But if I say the car in the garage, then the R comes in, the car in. And it's the car rin. The R seems to go on to the beginning of the word, not the end of my car word. The car in the garage. The tractor in the field. The tractor rin the field. November, I would say November is the 11th month. November is. November is the 11th month. So funny. So we do apparently insert an R, but only when there's a vowel, and we add the R to the beginning of that word, not the end of the correct word that it should be on. And finally, there was the T and the D. When we pronounce our T, if it's in the middle of a word, for instance, water, I didn't write any of the other, party, which we say. I just wrote those two down, so I'll just focus on them. So when we say a T in the middle of a word, and we say water, party. Over here, they drop the T and they put in a soft sounding D. But they've got the R in there too. So water, you would hear, if I can pronounce this kind of sort of, you'd hear water, a glass of water. I'm going to a party. There's a D in there, party. Hey, I had a glass of water at the party. I'm not American. I know it's a sound crazy accent, but I'm just trying to tell you that that's what they use. The letters that come in are changed. The R is there, but the T changes to a D. So you have water, party. It's so funny. Anyway, that is enough waffle about all of those different changes. I know there's many, many more. And if you're curious and you want to hear people pronounce it right, YouTube has got some videos. You just need to go in there and search how do English pronounce R or American, something like that. You'll come up, there's some videos come up where people talk. And I think obviously this might be for foreign students who are trying to learn the English language. They are explaining to them the difference between the sounds of what they'll hear if they're trying to learn English, for instance, in America, or English in England. Huge difference sometimes. All right. I don't know how long this has been, because I stopped and started a few times, as I often do. The last thing, I usually will talk about an update in the shop, if I have one, my Etsy store, Kiki Boo Bags. It's still not happening right now, folks. As I mentioned in the beginning, I do need to make some bags that I'm committed to for the prizes, and I do have a couple of bags on that I've promised people that are having retreats. There will be a prize at the Sock Bunny retreat with a Kiki Boo bag. I think I have one to send to Tina, who does Knitopia, and there is another retreat I committed to. It's the one that Daniela from Caffeinated Knitting is hosting. She's taking over, and I forgot where it's called. Into the Wool, I think it might be. So I have some committed responsibilities that I need to get to first. I'm trying to practice my embroidery so I can maybe offer some different kinds of bags in the shop, but it's just, there's nothing in there right now. I was asked when I'm going to put some in, and I just don't have a timeline. So I don't want to feel pressured, and I only want to add and make bags if I want to, because it's fun, not because I have to. The only ones I have to are those few I've just mentioned, and I promised, and so that's not a problem. I know I have to do them, and I don't mind doing them. But there's just nothing else to really update you about the shop. So that is the end of the show, and I'm sure I've waffled on for well over an hour, but that's okay. Have a few things to do today. I do have to call the garage place that I bought the car from a couple of weeks ago. because there was a couple of issues on it, and I took it in, and I'm waiting to confirm that they are going to pay for these couple of issues to be fixed, because we're talking over $1,000. So I've got that going on today, and other than that, I'm hoping I'll get down, do stuff around the house, and I've still got a Christmas tree to finish off taking downstairs in the basement. It's half taken down. I need to get on with that. But anyway, all that said, I hope you've enjoyed sitting down with me today. I hope it wasn't too long for you. And if you are a new viewer, I do hope you come back and watch more, join us again. I hope everyone else has a fabulous week, as always. And I hope you come back next week and join me in the knitting den. Bye, guys.